wczoraj po live zebrałem te wszystkie posążki i to dosłownie wszystkie z całej gry. Z poradnikiem na YouTubie zajęło mi to około godziny, więc szybko poszło. No i kupiłem sobie ten dodatek z edycji Deluxe. Tak wygląda ten mroczny strój. Tylko twórcy nie wzięli pod uwagę jednej rzeczy. Miałem pełny ekwipunek, więc tych przedmiotów nie dostałem, ale przynajmniej mogłem zmienić wygląd. Tutaj widać, że cały czas mam na sobie te stare przedmioty, no ale jest ikonka, że jest tutaj nałożony ten strój po prostu. Dobra, bo się już pewnie niecierpliwi.
Hello, Mr. Moon.
Oh, greetings. Any luck removing some more of those demiguise statues?
I actually have some moons for you.
Dear me, you have been busy. Incredible, thank you. You're ready for the final Alahomora lesson. With this knowledge, no lock shall ever stand in your way. You have done all I asked. I only wish I knew who put those statues everywhere in the first place. Alas. If you do find more, please feel free to remove them. You'll be doing your caretaker a
Już się tym zająłem.
And if I ever find out who the bully is behind this cruel trick, I shall let you know. Thank you once again for your assistance and tenacity. Now that you've mastered Alahomora, no lock is unbreakable. But do feel free to keep finding demiguise statues and removing those moons.
Czyli jeszcze do niego wrócimy. Dowiemy się czegoś więcej. Zanim zabiorę się za jakieś misje, chciałbym się zabrać za areny, o których się dowiedziałem. No bo jest ta arena właśnie z tego dodatku. Te areny zrobię na końcu, ale tak poza tym są jeszcze dwie. Tylko muszę je znaleźć. Tutaj jest jedna, więc przeniesiemy się tutaj.
Off on another adventure, are we?
Trochę pochodzę w tym stroju, ale potem wrócimy do czegoś bardziej standardowego. Wiem, o co chodzi z tymi wazonami. Są tutaj poukrywane, trzeba je zniszczyć i wtedy odblokuje się przejście.
Revelio.
Nie trzeba daleko szukać, są dosłownie obok siebie.
Incendio. Revelio.
A, tutaj jest. A, i w ogóle założyłem sobie konto w klubie Harry'ego Pottera, bo za połączenie konta z grą też się dostaje tam jakąś jedną maskę.
Revelio.
Po zrobieniu testu na tamtej stronie wyszedł mi Slytherin.
Revelio.
Jeszcze dwa wazony.
Revelio.
Ojejku, jestem w trakcie walki.
Expelliarmus. Defender. Expelliarmus.
You're the little sod that saved Treadwell.
W ogóle może sprawdzimy nasze nowe zaklęcie. Długo się ładuje.
You tried hunting Petrificus totalis on me, and I will make you regret it. What have you done?
O, i co ci wyszło?
One less poacher in the wizarding world. Revelio.
Jejku, ale super ten strój.
Rookwoods don't go down easy.
Levioso.
I shall kill you first when I get down from here.
Really enjoying the view. Expelliarmus. Defender. Bombarder.
Confringo.
Protector.
I'm still better.
Dobra, pierwsza fala.
Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Incendio. Protego. Stupefy. Expelliarmus. Defender.
Now you've gone too far.
Can't petrify you, Stupefy. Protego. Stupefy. Revelio.
No fuck.
Incendio. Incendio. Expelliarmus.
You made a mistake. No more happy days for you.
Time to teach someone a lesson.
Expelliarmus.
Zawsze jest 7 przeciwników na falę.
I've seen your magic, and I'm not afraid you will pay for your deeds. You weaken quickly. That's the best you can do, is it?
Expelliarmus. Cost us our friend Defender. We had that running
until you...
Okej, jest ich więcej.
But it won't work. Expelliarmus.
Może tak zrobię. Często ten ogień się przydaje jednak.
You're the one who freed our hypocrite. Stupid one.
Incendio.
You're the one who stole our goblin help. Well, come on. You're afraid to fight the Defender.
Bombarda. Incendio.
I'm not done with you.
Przeszedłeś już The Ball?
Bombarda. Incendio.
You can't hold out.
Let's play.
Barely felt that at all. Stupid one. Pay for your deed. Afraid to stop.
Podoba mi się, jak oni przez chwilę przestają atakować, jak użyje Avada Kedavra. Więc nie tylko to zaklęcie od razu pokonuje przeciwnika, a w zasadzie na chwilę też zatrzymuje pozostałych.
The beasts around here can sleep a bit easier now.
Najpierw te małe pajączki.
Incendio. Incendio. Bombarda. Potato. Stupefy. Eight legs is simply too many.
Ostatnia fala. Duży ten pająk. A co kolejne będzie przechodzone?
Incendio. Bombarda. Stupid one. Incendio. Bombarda. Incendio. You
Oi! You need to hypocrite!
stupid. Incendio. You don't trust me. Defender.
Nice try!
Accio.
Reducto!
Accio. Incendio. Bombarda. Protego. Stupid one. Leviosa.
Oh fuck.
Trico!
Say that. Defender.
Fajne te areny. Kolejna powinna być gdzieś na dole.
Wonder if I'm safe to explore in there.
I have a brother who works with me.
Kolejne wazony.
Revelio. 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 Revelio.
O kurde. Taki przeciwnik na początek.
Should think they felt less in London. Protego. Stupid one.
intruder! You don't believe you can defeat me, do you?
Incendio. Defender. Incendio. Protego.
You won't get away with that. I shall avenge your death. You won't defeat us all! You seem fond of dark magic.
Incendio. Defender. Protego. Bombarda. Bombarda. Incendio.
Get away with that.
Protego.
I shall avenge.
Incendio. Bombarda. Protego. Incendio. Incendio. Protego.
No, jeszcze chwila. Dobrze.
One less foul hulking brute.
How nice of you to stop by.
Up for a bit of dying, are we?
Defender.
You shall still mercy. That's the secret to release rebels.
I was right.
To stop Ranrock's loyalists.
Bombarda.
No nie w niego.
Where'd you learn all those dark spells?
Oh, that was meant for me. Really not very good at
Protego. Stupefy. Accio. Accio. Stupefy. Stupefy. Accio.
O, jest ich więcej. Jednak zrobię tak. Po prostu będę się przełączał między tymi zaklęciami. No bo w sumie przy każdej walce cały czas używałem tylko tych czerwonych zaklęć, a przecież dzięki tym fioletowym mogę potem zadawać więcej obrażeń.
Incendio.
Trochę szybciej to idzie. No i ostatnia arena powinna być gdzieś tutaj. O, tu jest.
Looks rather dark in there. Never stopped me before.
Tutaj tylko 10 wazonów.
Revelio.
You're not doing anything.
Oj.
Revelio.
Tutaj mam już z góry wybrane zaklęcia. W końcu to jest arena czarnej magii. I faktycznie nie mogę tego zmienić? Nie no, da się.
Made a grave mistake. You're going to regret that.
nice of you to stop. They can outlast me!
Your blood's on Ranrock's hands. You're the one. The Hyperion.
You can't hold out forever. That's the best you can do.
Confringo.
Is that the better?
Let's see what you make of my intrusion.
You'll be sorry you did that. Imperio.
Trzymam Avada Kedavra na jakąś lepszą okazję. Chociaż nie wiem, czy to nie jest już końcówka. Niech będzie.
You're weak, human.
There's the student. You won't be able to stop Ranrock. You seem fond of dark. Pay for your deeds.
Such arrogance.
Don't stupefy. Get out of this alive.
I won't rest until
That's the best you can hurt. Potato.
I will make you pay.
You've one less follower, Ranrock.
Dobra, wracamy do misji.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
She's devastated. She just buried your uncle alone.
I did it for her.
Sebastian, Anne can't bear the thought of turning you in, but
What? Turn me in? She saw what happened.
I'll give you some time to think, Sebastian.
Turn me in?
Sebastian,
Did you hear that? You saw what happened. I never wanted to hurt my uncle.
I know.
I can't believe he's gone. How did things go so wrong? I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to... Oh, Anne, I was only trying to help. I can't leave now. Anne needs me more than ever. You understand. You can talk to Ominous. Make him understand. He listens to you. I need to be with Anne.
Don't worry, Sebastian. I shall speak with Ominous.
Thank you. You're a good friend, truly. No matter what happens from here, I'm glad we met.
Poor Sebastian.
Ominous?
What a mess. I can't believe it. After I last saw you, I went straight to Hogwarts. Before I had time to talk to Black, I heard from Anne. I rushed to Feldcroft and found her with Solomon's body. She was beside herself with grief. Part of her wants Sebastian to face the consequences, another part can't bear the thought of it. I don't want to lose Sebastian, but I don't think we have a choice.
We do have a choice. What good will it do to turn him in now? He clearly regrets everything. He's not going to do anything like this again.
We've both heard that before.
But we also need to think about Anne. She's lost her health, now she's lost her uncle. Do you really want to take her brother away from her too?
I understand what you're saying. Perhaps you're right. As much as I believe that Sebastian should pay for his actions, we'd only be punishing Anne as well. I hope we're doing the right thing. I'll talk to Anne. If it comes from me, she'll agree with this decision.
Thank you, Ominous. You're a good friend.
Whatever lies ahead, we must face it together. That I know.
I co? Tyle? A, tu się podziała.
Off on another adventure, are we?
These rocks have seen better days.
I suspect you are the one who has been interfering with a rather personal matter. The Demiguise statues, and the moons contained therein, were placed as they were for good reason. You should not meddle in the personal affairs of others.
I don't think Mr. Pemberton meant to use his own stationery. I'm ready to do what's needed to take Harlow down. I know you have a plan.
We must gather information from the friends of Mr. Bickle that Archie and Mrs. Bickle mentioned. Agabus Filbert, Otto Dibble, and Mr. and Mrs. Rabe.
All right.
I suggest that you speak with each of them while I head to the Hogshead. I saw some Ashwinders heading there. And as my mother would never go near the Hogshead, she is less likely to learn of my activities than if I were to wander the village questioning its residents.
Very well. I'll speak with them, see what I can learn.
I knew I could rely on you. We need to know how they are being blackmailed by Rookwood and Harlow. Meet me here after you have spoken with them. Hopefully, by the time you return, I will be able to move a bit more freely.
Revelio. Mrs. Rabe should be nearby.
Oh, Isco, what have I done?
Mrs. Rabe, I wondered if I might speak with you about Theophilus Harlow. I'm a friend of the Bickles and I'm trying to gather evidence against him.
Poor Joanna and little Archie. And now Harlow has taken my darling Isco.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm a security guard at Gringotts, and my husband is a curse breaker for them. Harlow approached me about helping him extort my colleagues into giving him treasures from the vaults.
And you declined?
Of course I declined. Repeatedly. I thought they'd given up, until I came home one night and found my husband gone, and a note affixed to my door with a knife. The note stated that I only had a few days to reconsider helping with some banking needs, and that my husband would appreciate it if I acted quickly. But the help Harlow wants is help that I cannot give, and my dearest Isco is paying the price.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabe. Knowing the lengths that Harlow will go to is helpful, albeit more than disturbing.
Mr. Bickle was trying to help us, but now he's gone. I don't know what to do.
I shall do all I can to get evidence against Harlow, Mrs. Rabe.
Very well. Here's the note I received. You must be careful as well. Please don't put yourself in danger.
Some evidence worth hanging on to.
Thank you.
Now, to find Mr. Bickle's other two friends. Otto Dibble works at Gladrags. I should check there.
Please tell me you didn't take it.
Mr. Dibble, may I speak with you? It's about Theophilus Harlow.
I've nothing to say about him.
Szkoda, że nikt nie zwraca uwagi na mój strój. Mogliby to jakoś komentować.
I spoke to Mrs. Bickle.
You know the Bickles? All right. But we must be discreet. Can't have Mr. Hill hearing this.
I know Mr. Hill. He was kind to me the day of the troll attack.
Oh, he's a good man. But even he wouldn't understand about Harlow. It started a few weeks ago. I was distracted, reading a note, when you-know-who came into the shop. I hid the note behind the counter and offered to help him. He stared at me for a moment, then asked me to check on an order he'd placed. I went into the storeroom to check on what turned out to be a non-existent order. When I returned, he was holding the note.
What was in the note?
It was a note from Rosie Hill, Mr. Hill's daughter. You see, we've been, well, secretly engaged these past 6 months. We haven't told Mr. Hill yet. I dare say he has higher hopes for her. Harlow advised me in no uncertain terms that my relationship with Rosie, not to mention my employment here, depended upon my cooperation.
What did he ask you to do?
It all happened so quickly. In an instant, he took a very expensive scarf from the counter, pocketed it, and smiled. He said, "Your secret is safe as long as I can supply my lady friend with delightful items like this every so often." I've been able to cover for his requests until now with some creative bookkeeping, but I can't keep it out for much longer. I'm terrified to say anything. I could never live without Rosie.
Thank you for telling me. I'm gathering evidence to take Harlow down.
I would love nothing more than to see him rotting in Azkaban, but be careful. He's an awful man and incredibly dangerous. As for Rosie's letter, should you happen upon it, I have committed it to memory. You may destroy it immediately.
Understood.
Now hurry off before Mr. Hill returns. Where was I?
We're on the right track. Now to find the last of Mr. Bickle's friends. Agabus Filbert must be around here somewhere.
Hello there.
Excuse me, Mr. Filbert. I wondered if I might speak with you about your dealings with Theophilus Harlow. I hope to ease Mrs. Bickle's mind by gathering evidence against him.
Tragic, what happened to Bickle. He wanted me to speak out against Harlow for an act of violence committed against me. But I feared Harlow's retaliation, and so I refused.
You may have shared Mr. Bickle's fate if you had spoken out against Harlow as he requested.
Unfortunately, I suspect you're right.
You said that Harlow committed an act of violence against you. Could you tell me what happened?
Before my extraordinary wife, Dulcibella, passed away, she had just completed a small book of poetry. As a surprise for her birthday, one she never had the chance to celebrate, I had the book beautifully bound and plated in gold. One day, Harlow came calling to punish me for having spoken out against the Neanderthals that comprise Rookwood's lot. Before I knew it, I'd been petrified, and Harlow was rifling through my home. He found the book of poetry, with its exquisite gold plating. I watched helplessly, lying there in my entranceway as he walked away with the book, laughing as he went. I was shaken to my core. Still am, to be honest.
I imagine you fear Harlow retaliating again. But do you mind if I share this information with Officer Singer?
I suppose I have no choice. This extortion can't go on forever. You can pass it on to anyone who may be willing to help. Harlow does not like people talking, as you already know.
I've spoken with Mr. Bickle's friends. Now to find Natty.
A wejdziemy sobie tutaj.
Hello, Hamura.
Revelio. Revelio.
O, tutaj. Oh, fuck.
It's not like Natty to be late. She said she was going to the Hog's Head. Perhaps I'll find her there. Natty must be around here somewhere. Natty's wand. She can cast without it. She wanted me to find this. She's in trouble. Revelio will show me where she was taken. Revelio! Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her. Her footprints led to this room. There must be another way forward. Accio! A hidden door. Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. Better be sure I'm not seen.
They don't seem to care for me in Hogsmeade. Can't say I blame.
It's not gonna work. Using that girl as bait, that one's coming. her alone.
Revelio.
Life you took? Can't say I do. I may go to Hogsmeade later. There are some trouble. They need to be reminded that we're still running things. I couldn't wait to get out of Hogwarts when I was there. I don't want to work with goblins. Not now. Girls be nothing but trouble. About time we lost.
Revelio.
Be on the lookout for the girl's friend, if they're daft enough to try to come through here.
Hey.
Well, if you weren't so forgetful, we'd probably have more, wouldn't we?
Rookwood will reward us for our loyalty, don't you fret.
I shall cast my eyes closer.
I co?
Best.
Nikt się nie przejął? Serio? Dobra, ktoś podszedł.
Revelio. The book of poems that was taken from Agabus Filbert. He'll be thrilled to have this back. Otto Dibble's love letter from Rosie. He wanted me to destroy this if I found it.
Oi.
Revelio.
What? We should speak to her again. Perhaps she'll tell us where we can find that friend of hers.
Bombarda. He must be here somewhere.
You found us. I knew you would realize I had left my wand for you. Speak to Mr. Rabe. He will tell you what you...
I need your help. Mr. Rabe, Daisy told me you'd been abducted.
You spoke with my wife. How is she?
Worried about you. Are you all right?
I am all right. Thank you for coming. These locks are cursed. And there's an anti-apparition jinx on the cells. Even Natty's skill with wandless magic cannot free us. I need you to find my wand.
Use mine. We'll find yours together once you're out of there.
I need my wand for this. Using one with which I have no connection may not work as well or as quickly, and we cannot risk detection.
I shall do my best. Any idea where it might be?
It's nearby. I can sense it.
Understood. I'll find it.
Your friend Natty was not able to summon my wand.
Revelio.
It must have blocked by something. My wand is somewhere in this room.
Incendio.
I can tell.
Revelio.
Gdzie ta różdżka?
Mr. Rabe's wand could
Oh.
be in there. Aloha Mora. Mr. Rabe's wand. He'll be glad to have this back. Mr. Rabe, I found your wand.
Well done. I knew it was nearby. Now, you best stand back. One never knows how a curse will react to being broken.
Thank you, Mr. Isco.
My pleasure. And thank you, my friend. We owe our lives to your bravery. I may be too weak to disapparate with you both, but I can try.
You go ahead. Find Officer Singer. We will get out of here on our own.
Very well. But be careful. Thank you, my young friends.
Be prepared for a fight. These Ashwinders must pay. I understand. Let's find Officer Singer and put an end to Harlow once and for all.
No i niepotrzebnie się ukrywałem. Już nie było przeciwników.
Natsai Onai. I should have known. And you, the troll dispatcher. Oh, thank goodness the two of you are safe. Isco Rabe told me a couple of students had rescued him. Should have known it was you two.
Is Mr. Rabe all right?
He is. I sent him home to his wife, Miss Onai. Your mother will not be pleased to learn that you're still risking your safety pursuing these dangerous men.
Actually, Officer Singer, Natty and I learned of several Hogsmeade residents who've had their lives threatened by the Ashwinders. In addition to abducting Mr. Rabe, to blackmail his wife and Natty, Rookwood and Harlow have also extorted Agabus Filbert and Otto Dibble.
I will look into all of that. As for the two of you, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are taking great risk. Next time, please let the authorities handle the Ashwinders.
Yes, officer. Do you have enough evidence to take down Harlow and the rest of Rookwood's lot?
Well, it's certainly a good start. We shall see. But you can leave this to me now. Natsai, you may wish to speak with your mother about this before I do.
My mother will not like this. Thank you again for rescuing me. We shall speak soon.
nice to see you, my young...
Pestering me. I suspect that's your doing. Thank you from me and Rosie both. We're just leaving for our honeymoon, after we tell Mr. Hill of our recent marriage. Wish me luck.
Oh, good, you're safe.
There you are. You were in such a state when you left.
The poachers got to my gran. Someone recognized me in Horntail Hall and they got to her.
What do you mean? Is she all right?
She's fine, thank goodness. But they were at her house, our house. They assumed I'd sent the egg there. She said they took the whole place apart looking for it, screaming that we'd cost them everything.
I'm sorry, Poppy. I'm glad she's all right. I don't think either one of us could have anticipated that.
I should have known. I underestimated the poachers. And now another creature's in danger.
What do you mean?
The poachers refused to leave empty-handed, so they took valuable journals that Gran had discovered when she was researching rare creatures. One of them contained theories about a secret hiding place of the Snidget, long thought to be extinct.
I take it you aren't going to let the poachers anywhere near the Snidgets.
Gran wants me to stay out of it, but I know she's devastated that poachers might go after the Snidgets, if they still exist. We had the element of surprise on our side when we saved that dragon, but the poachers will be watching for us now.
We need allies. Others who hate the poachers enough to help us, who value creatures as much
Merlin's beard! You're a genius! The centaurs! They'd want the Snidgets protected at all costs.
Centaurs aren't known for being the friendliest lot, especially not with wizard kind, and not right now.
We'll need to be careful in how we approach them. Tensions with them are high. Still, I think they may be our only hope. Let me think on it. I'll let you know as soon as I have a plan.
Akurat wiem, gdzie jest to miejsce, bo tutaj był jeden z posążków.
This must be Arranshire. I'd best keep an eye out for spiders. Surely that's the last of them.
No, został jeden, bo prawie wszystkie pokonałem, a nie chciałem poza live'em wykonywać tego zadania.
This cellar gate looks to be locked. I'll need a key to enter. Revelio. Not sure. Oh no, this must be Mary. If Mary was breeding these things in her cellar, that means there are more underground. I'll need to destroy every last spider in that cellar if this is to end. If this is where Mary bred the spiders, they're not here now. A ladder. Not sure I want to know where this leads. I'd best be ready for whatever I may find down there. Egg sacs. Need to find and destroy all of these before the situation gets even worse. That's one egg sac destroyed. I should get the rest. Can't let you harm Arenshire any more than you already have. Incendio! Accio! Revelio. I hate to think that they see me, but I don't see them. Revelio. Incendio! Defendo! Accio! Potato! Stupefy! Ugh. Revelio. Potato. Stupefy. Accio. Defender. Bombarda. Incendio.
Jeszcze tylko 30 pająków. Może nawet w tej lokacji uda się to zrobić. Nie, no, nie w tego małego. Fuck.
Bombarda. Incendio. Defendo. Incendio. Accio.
Leviosa.
No, wait. That's the last one. And she's angry. I'll be having nightmares for the rest of my life after that.
Incendio.
Cursed fiends. Sometimes it seems all roads lead to Hogsmeade.
Why would anyone care enough to remove my demiguise statue?
But breaking into Alfred Lawley's home wasn't the brightest idea. Folks still talk about it.
Mr. Dunn, I have some news.
Thank Merlin. About my sweet friend Mary.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Dunn. She was an innocent victim.
Poor Mary. Fighting for the Hamlet to the bitter end, no doubt. A noble sacrifice. She truly was a remarkable woman. Remarkable. She didn't deserve this. Few do.
I am sorry about your friend. But you'll be relieved to know that I cleared out the spiders. It's safe to return now.
You? You cleared out the spiders? I can't believe it. But I'm certainly relieved. I imagine the first order of business will be to help the Hamlet rebuild. I suppose I have nothing to fear from dead spiders.
That's the spirit. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you again for all you've done. I shall keep you apprised of the Hamlet's rebuilding.
Glad I could be of help, and I look forward to visiting your shop the next time I'm in Arranshire.
To dearly departed Mary.
I can do this. I can do this. They will want to help.
Is this where we're meeting the centaurs?
Well, they don't exactly know we're coming, so it's less of a meeting and more of a surprise, I suppose.
Once we tell them about the Snidgets, they'll understand why we came and they'll want to help.
I hope you're right. Perhaps they'll be able to tell that we're sincere. There's something about them that's so knowing. It's almost unnerving.
I suppose they are known for having an air of omniscience.
That's exactly the right word. I just... never mind.
What is it?
It's nothing, truly. We've no secrets to hide.
Speaking of secrets, I do want to tell you why Victor Rookwood's after me. He's working with Ranrock, and Ranrock's after something I found at Gringotts. Fig had a portkey that led us there after the dragon attack. It's a bit of a long story, and Fig's asked that I not speak of it yet.
Goodness. Well, that certainly helps explain a bit about what we saw back at Horntail Hall. Of course, I'll guard your secret as if it were my own. Even the centaurs won't know.
We'll simply be honest with them about what we're trying to do. They'll have to help us, won't they?
Yes, of course. You're absolutely right. We'll meet with them, tell them about the Snidgets, and I'm sure it'll all be fun.
What do you think you're doing here, humans?
Please! We were hoping to speak with you.
Ah, I suppose you'd like a tale for your friends of the time you spoke to a centaur, and it spoke back.
No, never. We're here because we need your help.
Enough! You made a grave error in judgment in coming here, little witch.
Leave them be, Alec. We do not harm the young. It is not our way.
You forget your place, old fool. I'm the leader of this herd, and while you cling to our way, their kind continue to slaughter beasts like us without a care.
From what I can
Co on
see,
wygaduje?
they slaughtered no one.
Czy ja wyglądam na kogoś tak... O,
They
chwila.
leave here unharmed.
Mark my words, Doran. If I ever see them again, it will be all three of your heads.
Rozumiem, że mój strój mógł tutaj pewne wątpliwości przynieść.
Foolish children. Do you know what happens to wizards who wander here? Now, follow me before
Golden Snidgets are still alive, and the poachers are after them. They know that the key to finding them lies in the moonlight, but they don't know what that means, yet. Please, help us find the Snidgets before the poachers do.
Could it be? In the south, there is a cave within which lies what the poachers seek. A moonstone. Retrieve it and place it in the henge in the forest. I, on the other hand, must go speak with the herd. Find me after you have done this.
I don't understand. So the moonlight mentioned in the journal doesn't refer to actual moonlight, but to a moonstone. What do moonstones have to do with Snidgets? And why was he so certain about where we could find one?
I don't know, but I am inclined to believe him, what with his being a centaur and all.
I am too. It is a shame how quickly he left. What was his name? Doran.
That's what the leader of the herd called him.
Well, if Doran knows something we don't, I'd rather act now and ask questions later. I can head to the library and start looking into the cave you mentioned. I'll let you know what I find.
Bells must be upstairs. Found them. I'll have to get those up there somehow. Wingardium Leviosa, perhaps.
Ale dzwoni.
One up, one to go.
Dobra, jeszcze jeden. O, tu jest.
Wingardium Leviosa. Well, that wasn't too hard. Evangeline should be pleased about this, even if Black isn't. The bells are back up, Evangeline.
Oh, you're a credit to the school. I can't wait to hear them. I can't wait for the headmaster to hear them. I wish I could see his face. Future generations may not truly appreciate what you've done, but I do. And I hope that you do as well. You don't know how much this means for me and for Hogwarts.
Szybkie zadanie.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented.
I co, Burian? Jak tam wygląda ten ostatni poziom? Czy mi zaskoczył?
the talk of the school since you saved Mr. Rib and I from the Ashwinders. We have come so far. We should discuss the next steps in our plan to stop Harlow.
This must be the castle where Miss Coffee's Niffler ran. Ashwinders! I'd better find a way around them. Or perhaps through them.
I remember my father speaking to his friends.
Szkoda, że nie mogę tego zrobić od razu.
They tell quite a different story.
Nothing. Again.
This place has seen better days. Now here's a sad-looking place.
What was that sound? What's that? Better have a look then.
I'll watch the light. Defender.
Potato. Novice. Bombarda. Accio. Just watch out for you. Incendio. Quite conductive, aren't we? Stupid. A friend. Defender. You're going to regret that. To your knees. A violent enough. Accio. Bombarda.
Come on, you're afraid to fight back.
Knowing a meat, he's likely studied here.
Are you familiar with the hamlet of Irondale? It's south of the castle. I think the cave that Doran wanted us to find is near there.
Oh, here's a pleasant surprise. I hope the Ashwinders haven't done anything with Rococo.
Could do worse than Peter Pan Ford. Shopkeepers keep their shelves full.
Stop messing about.
Expulso! What are you, shy? What are you for? Expulso!
Dobra, walczymy. Nie ma co.
I'll watch the light.
Bombarda. You're going to regret that. You will pay for your deed. Accio. Bombarda.
I did it. In an Ashwinder, no less. These coins must have come from Miss Coffee's Niffler. More Ashwinders.
You're the one who stole our goblin helm, but then it was our...
Mogę iść dalej po prostu.
This Niffler's a tricky one. Potato! Stupid one.
You may have defeated a few trolls. Go stupid one to get out of this alive.
I should follow the treasure to find that Niffler.
Stupid one. Incendia! Accio. Defender. Potato! Stupid one.
Bombarda.
You've made a great mistake. That's the best you can do.
Incendio.
I'm not down with.
Treasure. That Niffler's certainly leaving quite a trail. Never realized how tiring it can be to capture a Niffler. Could it be a Merlin trial? Here's one of those tables Professor Shah mentioned.
What are you up to now?
It's like a place right out of a storybook.
Revelio.
Co tam się dzieje?
Something must be done about the vile thieves who've infested the area.
Incendio!
The Ashwinders cannot be allowed to run roughshod.
Is everything all right, Madam...
Olivier, Madame Olivier, and no, everything is not all right. The vermin known as the Ashwinders have infested nearby Clagmar Castle, disrupting not only our sense of peace, but our valuable trade. It appeared that they were finally going to slither away until Sylvanus Selwyn arrived.
Sylvanus Selwyn?
Head rat. My guess is that if someone were to take out Selwyn, the rest of the Ashwinders would disperse. But Selwyn is a skilled wizard. I certainly can't take care of him myself. Believe me, I wish I could. I'm at my wit's end.
I could take care of Selwyn for you.
Goodness, no. I'd never ask a student to confront Selwyn. But I'm offering a nice bounty on his head. Feel free to put the word out.
Dobra, tutaj oddam misję, a potem są jeszcze dwie misje poboczne do wzięcia.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
Miss Coffee, I found your Niffler.
Oh, goodness, really? Oh, thank you. You're very brave. I was at my wit's end. How's my sweet Rococo? May I have him back?
I'm sure he'll be happy to go home.
He will. Oh, my brave little explorer. My greedy, greedy boy. Oh, I can't wait to get him home. Thank you again for what you did. From now on, I'll keep Rococo on a lead whenever we go out.
This could prove dangerous if I'm not careful.
You dare slay one of my own!
Stop right there! Or I'll make you stop! Levioso!
Ojejku, kolejna mapa. Nie walczymy, spadamy. Chociaż może jeszcze szybka podróż. Odblokuję sobie. Okej, teraz można lecieć dalej.
Nice to see you, my young friend.
A blockade. Hogwarts poachers are already here. Incendio! Bombarda! Could the Phoenix be in there? Incendio! Incendio! Protego! Incendio! Bombarda!
I've not seen a trace. You don't think phoenixes can turn to rocks, do you?
What? No. Keep looking. You've seen how much of...
I heard. What's this?
A falling cadaver. Bombarda! It's shameful what you've done to helpless beasts.
We're supposed to keep... We're keeping people out. Pay attention. No, there's nobody here.
Ej! Jakim cudem nie zauważyli? No kurde, tego.
Bombarda! Incendio! Defender! Bombarda! Incendio! Accio! Flipendo! Defender!
Pathetic.
Accio! Bombarda! The Phoenix. It almost seems as if it wants me to follow it. I need to find it before the poachers do. Bombarda! Fancy yourself skilled. Aloha Mora.
Ło, ale tor przeszkód.
There it is again.
The lab returns home.
Incendio. That was the highway. Incendio. Bombarda. Hello. I'm here to help. I can take you somewhere safe. Let's get you back to the room. Deke's going to be pleased. This looks intriguing.
Tutaj są dwa zadania.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flu.
Excuse me, madam. I thought I heard you say something.
Yes, indeed. Talking to myself again. I find myself to be quite the engaging conversationalist since my husband passed. Madam Althea Twiddle, pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Madam Twiddle.
You know, you might be interested in this. You young people love this sort of thing. My husband often ruminated on the mysterious statue just outside our hamlet. Some sort of archaic puzzle involving vases, he would insist. I stumbled upon it today when I had a burst of energy and extended my morning constitutional a bit longer than usual.
An archaic puzzle? Sounds fascinating.
You see, I suspected you'd be interested, and wait till I tell you about the rumours surrounding this particular puzzle. My husband Greville insisted that solving the puzzle would reveal a magical challenge of sorts. The man was intrigued by everything. He was about to try and solve it himself when... Perhaps you could take a look. I'd be rather interested to hear what, if anything, you find.
If I happen to see it, I'll have a look.
Ah, the spirit of youth. I do hope you'll be able to solve the puzzle. If not for me, then in Greville's memory.
Yeah, Mother's rolling in her grave, she is.
Pardon me, sir.
Come to stare at the fool, have you? There's poor Ig Haggerty, robbed by his own sister. She's robbed almost everyone now. So, who's the fool?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
Then you're the only one who doesn't know about Catherine running off with that thief, Victor Rookwood and his lot. Good riddance, I said. Never thought she'd return to steal from me, us, but I just know it was her. I want her caught and sent to Azkaban for stealing a prize family heirloom. Sister or no.
I could keep an eye out for the thief, sir.
You? Ugh. Nothing to be done by the likes of us. This is a job for the fine officer Singer or some such authority. Besides, the thief, my sister, only strikes at night. Coward. Long past your bedtime.
Nie widzisz, jak wyglądam?
I should be going now. Thank you.
Okay.
Now that it's night, I ought to look into this thievery business for Mr. Haggerty. A pile of gold. I must be on the right track. It looks as if the thief took more than they could carry. Revelio. More gold. I must be getting closer.
You haven't had mushroom stew like what my mother used to make. Oh, like heads of lettuce, those mushrooms were. Who's that?
Ojejku, ale obrywa.
Revelio. Let's see what's up your sleeve this time, Merlin. Revelio. I should investigate.
dying, are we?
Revelio.
Jejku, tyle monet zostawić.
Niffler. It wasn't Catherine Haggerty after all. Revelio. Arresto momentum. I have the Niffler.
Jejku, bardzo sympatyczne zadanie.
Family heirloom.
Tutaj niby wielka tajemnica, to podążanie za monetami, a tam po prostu zwierzaczek.
You're the one that helped Agnes with her niffler. Glad she got it back. Hate having those.
I have some good news, Mr. Haggerty. I unmasked your thief.
Nothing to unmask, was there? We all know that the thief was my sister, Catherine.
Actually, sir, the thief was a Niffler.
A what?
You know, small, furry, pilfering. I followed it to its lair.
Catelyn was the only one who knew how to get into our homes, where to find our treasures. But I suppose, mangy little blighter. Well, if you found the Niffler's lair, as you say, you must have found my heirloom.
I'm sorry, Mr. Haggerty. I wish I could say that I had.
It was too much to hope for anyway. I appreciate what you did uncover. Catherine's a disappointment for certain, but I never wanted to believe she was behind this. Now, thanks to you, I won't have to. Glad I'll be able to look my neighbours in the eye now. Pity about that heirloom, though.
Revelio. Aloha Mora. Mysterious and a bit unsettling.
Whoa!
What to do?
Oh, fuck.
Mrs. Twiddle, your husband was right. The statue was part of a puzzle.
Oh, really? How exciting!
Yes, I had to destroy a number of large vases, and that seemed to activate some sort of charm on the statue.
Well done. Oh, I miss having someone like you around with a thirst for knowledge and a quick mind. Oh, my husband would be so pleased to know he was right about that statue.
W sumie, czemu od razu jej nie powiedział, tylko musiał być znowu znacznik?
Prove dangerous if I'm not careful. Revelio. I know what that means. Merlin trial. I should dismount here.
You made it.
I take it this means you had some luck at the library?
It took a few hours and some eye-watering maps, but I think this might be the cave Doran told us about.
Impressive. Especially with how little information he gave us.
Well, I'm still not sure this is the cave, but it did seem the most promising. I stumbled across some folklore about a cave in the area that people avoid. Seemed the perfect place to hide something of value. It's a bit of a leap, I confess, but might a mysterious item such as a special moonstone be hidden in an equally mysterious cave? I think I'm desperate for anything at this point.
Well, we're here. We might as well have a look.
Agreed. I wonder if you'd go blind from staring directly at a moonstone.
You don't think the rumors about the cave are true, do you?
I suppose we'll find out, won't we? It's another aggressive one! What is going on with that? Voipers.
I beg your pardon?
This must be how the rumor about the cave started. The Whooper's song is said to drive anyone who hears it mad. If the moonstone is here and so are Whoopers, I wonder what's being protected.
Accio!
Why am I not surprised? First the Whoopers and now this.
Po kolei pootwieram. Okej, teraz to. I to. O, super.
Lumos.
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 Accio. Repulsor.
Another obstacle. No matter. I'm sure we can work out a way across.
Lumos.
Lumos.
Lumos. Accio.
Oj, bo spadnie. Czy ona nie może mi pomóc?
Merlin, it's beautiful.
Lumos. Lumos.
You did it. I was hoping. Look, where the water's bubbling. How odd.
Should we take a closer look?
You read my mind. Merlin, it's even more beautiful close up. It's got to be.
Śliczna lokacja, jeju.
Given what swoopers are known to do, I never thought I'd be so happy to see this menu.
I don't know. I've been listening to them for a while now, and I'm starting to lose my mind.
Very funny. I was just thinking how it's proof that poachers haven't been here.
Ile ci zajęło przejście?
Where the moonstone is, which means we're one step ahead of them. Well, we found what we came for. Now we just need to
Jeju,
get to the
ale tu
henge.
ładnie.
Well done, Poppy. This did end up being the right cave after all.
A good thing too. We need every advantage over the poachers if we're to get to the Snidgets first. We should do as Doran suggested and bring the moonstone to the henge.
Shall we?
We shall. If we leave now, we should make it there by nightfall. That's the henge, precisely where Doran said it would be. But now that we're here, I'm not entirely sure how to feel. We knew we were at the cave for the moonstone, but Doran didn't tell us what to expect when we placed the stone in the henge.
Whatever it is, it had better have to do with Snidgets.
The clock is ticking in that regard, isn't it? Let's make our way down. We're nearly at the end of this. I think that's it over there.
How's your grand
Fuck.
by the way?
Nothing
Dobra,
keeps
nic się
Gran
nie
down.
stało.
She set up a caterwauling charm and threatened to make a coat out of the next poacher that set foot on her doorstep. I still feel terrible that I'm the reason they went there.
Surely she'll be pleased you've gone after the Snidgets.
I hope so. Gran understands how important it is to protect those who need it.
Whoa!
Oh. That was a mooncalf dance. Do you know how rare it is to see even one? They only ever happen under a full moon. Though I suppose the moonstone allowed it to happen now.
Is the pattern they left behind on the ground normal?
All part of the dance. No one pattern is ever the same though.
I'll need to draw this one to get a better sense of it. Can't wait to tell Gran that I've managed to see not one, but 2 Mooncarve dances. She'll be jealous.
You've seen this before?
It was pure luck the first time. I was on Highwing, or I'd never have spotted it. It was the night Well, the night I met Highwing, actually,
If you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to.
I'd actually like you to know. About 5 years ago, Highwing had been captured by poachers. At first, they planned to sell her, but soon decided they wanted to kill her instead. More money, I suppose. I'd finally had enough. I freed Highwing and we ran. We'd flown for ages when I spotted Mooncarves dancing below and we landed to watch
A
them.
po jednym przejściu pokonałeś ile?
A good one. A sign that the worst was over.
What do you mean you'd had enough and the worst was over?
You see, the night I freed Highwing was also the night I ran away from home. A poacher camp. I come from a family of poachers.
Merlin? I don't know what to say, Poppy. I can't imagine what that must have been like for you.
I never fitted in, but the older I got, the more apparent it became. Gran tried for years to convince my parents to let me live with her. Suffice it to say, when I left with Highwing, I flew straight for her house.
How brave. I'm glad you escaped.
So am I. There were so many creatures I was unable to help when I was younger. Now that's all I want to do.
From everything I've seen, you're doing precisely that.
I've had a bit of help. I've never told anyone any of this, but I'm glad that you know. It's nice to have someone to talk about it with.
I'm glad you told me.
We should get back to Doran. He'll need to see the symbol, and we've got poachers to beat. If you collect the moonstone, I can make a quick drawing of the symbol for Doran.
Are you finished with the drawing?
Just barely. I think the pattern's a bird. At least that's what it looks like.
Didn't the journal say the key to finding the Snidget lies in the moonlight?
Of course. That's it. We need to show this to Doran. Not that I'd know where to find him at this hour. Perhaps we should head back to the castle and we can track him down after a good night's sleep.
Agreed. I'm ready to leave if you are.
Tutaj żadnych misji nie ma, ale tutaj są 2 znaczniki.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Wonder who lives here.
Be strong, Alexandra.
Is everything all right?
If the Hamlet sent you here to talk to me about... I know what I have to do. It's not every day a girl has to put down her own troll. I should be allowed to work up to it.
What do you mean your own troll?
I thought that's why you were here. I'm sorry. I suppose if you spend enough time with trolls, you forget your manners. I'm Alexandra. I didn't mean to be short with you. With Ranrock's lot seemingly everywhere, I thought the Hamlet could use a bit more security. But my plan has gone awry. I apologized when he almost trampled half the Hamlet yesterday. He just needs more time. But everyone wants him gone. They think it's mad, my training a troll. Impossible, even.
It certainly takes a lot of courage to try, I'll give you that.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I wish others felt the same. But I suppose I understand why everyone's been so concerned. What made me think I could train him? I should have learned from Barnabas the Barmy. But he's my troll and my problem. I'll be honest. I'm afraid I won't be able to take care of him. He's stronger than any troll I've ever encountered. I wish I knew someone else who could do it.
I'm not thrilled at the prospect, but I'll consider it.
Oh, no. I didn't mean to suggest that you should do it. In fact, you should avoid the area just southwest of here. At least until I work up the courage to do what needs to be done.
A troll?
Hello. Might you have time to help with an urgent delivery?
You sound as if you could use some help.
Oh, yes, I could. Eddie Thistlewood's the name. A dear friend of mine in Feldcroft is at his wit's end due to the relentless attacks on his hamlet by Ranrock and his loyalists. I sent 2 crates of Chinese chomping cabbages to help, but they've gone missing.
You sent crates of cabbages to battle Ranrock's loyalists?
I did indeed. You see, I know plants, and I believe the goblins will be so irritated by the onslaught of ferocious vegetation, they'll simply leave Feldcroft alone. I wonder if you might track the 2 crates down and deliver their contents to my friend Bernard Indiai. I simply can't leave my shop at present.
Very well, sir. I shall keep an eye out for 2 crates of Chinese chomping cabbages.
Oh, thank you. I shall let Bernard know he might be receiving those cabbages after all.
What do you have for sale?
I'm convinced that Feldcroft will be much
Posprzedaję
safer with
rzeczy.
Chinese chomping cabbages defending them.
Sounds like Feldcroft's in trouble. Perhaps I should try to help.
O, to nie, bo jest lepsze. Czyli jednak sprzedaję.
Thank you. I hope to see you again soon.
Not sure how I'd fare in a little place like this. Revelio.
Off on another adventure, are we?
Ah, I have been meaning to speak with you.
I still can't believe we escaped the Ashwinders.
You may not realize it, but you are the talk of the school since you saved me that day.
I wonder how everyone knows about it.
I told my mother in the hope that she would be more forgiving of what I have been up to if it came from me. She likely told other professors, and news travels quickly. Unfortunately, she might, in fact, have been even less forgiving than I'd hoped.
If she knew more about what you've done, I suspect she'd be proud.
If she knew any more about what I've done, she would never let me out of her sight again.
I'm sorry. Has Officer Singer done anything with the evidence we provided?
She has not. Harlow is as strong as ever. Someone needs to stop him, whether it is us or Officer Singer. If someone had stopped the monsters like him in Matabeleland, my father would be alive today.
What exactly happened to your father?
It was a beautiful day. My mother had gone to tend to a neighbor who was ill, and so my father and I were galloping in the savannah.
Galloping? Your father was also an animagus, I take it?
He could become the most majestic giraffe, and he would carry me on his back, my arms around his neck. We were on our way home when we surprised a group of bandits who had come from our village. One of them saw me just as he removed a scarf from his face. He shouted and then aimed his rifle.
He didn't want you to identify him.
Exactly. In an instant, my father bowed his neck to protect me and was hit. As he fell, my father changed back into his human form. When the bandits saw this, they turned and ran in fear. Magic terrified them, and then he was gone. And it was all my fault.
Your fault? How so?
He died protecting me. If I had been capable of protecting myself, he would still be alive today. My mother and I tried to go on without him, but it became too much for us there. A few years later, we left to come to Scotland.
I'm sorry, Natty. I can't imagine what you've been through. Your father sounds exceptional.
He was truly extraordinary. And thank you for your kind words. We all have our burdens. My father had a saying about that.
Yes, I remember. Rain does not fall on one roof alone.
Exactly. Soon you and I will put an end to the Ashwinders, beginning with Harlow. And once he is gone, we will turn our attention to Rookwood. We are making progress, and we will succeed. Thank you again for saving me. You deserve all of the praise you have received.
A niech będzie to zadanie.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide.
Seems pleasant.
W ogóle te dwa brakujące żetony spróbuję znaleźć poza live'em. I zobaczymy, co jest w tej skrzyni wreszcie.
Well, my feet didn't turn into beads. That's a good start. Should have known a herbologist would use Devil's Snare. Incendio.
A tak sobie chciałem spróbować. Ale nic z tego. O fuck.
Should have known a herbologist would use Devil's Snare. Lumos. A troll? You can't be serious. A sarcophagus. That should reverse the curse. Hopefully.
Też muszę kiedyś przejść The Ball.
Incendio. Samantha will be glad to hear that the crest has been returned. I certainly hope it reverses the curse.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flute.
I'm happy to tell you that I returned the crest to Marmaduke's sarcophagus just as you asked.
I thought as much. I received word from St. Mungo's that my brother's feet are back to normal. No more beats. Oh, I cannot thank you enough. It wasn't too much trouble, I hope.
Nie no.
Just a measly old troll. Nothing significant.
A troll? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. That's awful. No one has been in that tomb for centuries. But I can't say I'm surprised. Marmaduke seems to have been full of surprises.
Indeed he was.
Well, I suppose I should be going. I'm anxious to see my brother, who must be elated to have his feet back.
Of course. I certainly would be.
William and I are forever in your debt. Thank you again for what you did.
Did you find the phoenix?
Yes, Deke. And I rescued it from the poachers. I have it here. It's safe.
Remarkable. Well, what are you waiting for? Deke cannot wait to... My heavens. What a beauty. You keep it close. Professor Weasley and Deke were right to tell you about the Room of Requirement. Look at all you've done, and how many beasts you've rescued. A phoenix is safe now, because of you.
I couldn't have done it without your help, Deke. Thank you.
Deke is grateful for the kind words, and also grateful to have been of assistance to someone like yourself. Helping you do such good for so many beasts has given Deke a sense of peace Deke hasn't known in years. Deke will always be here for you when you need him.
You're my Summoner's Court opponent, Professor Ronan.
Indeed I am. Professors are allowed to have fun once in a while too, you know.
Of course. I look forward to playing against you.
And I you. I've been playing this for eons, so you haven't a chance of winning. How about we get started anyway?
I'm ready.
No time like the present. Accio! Nicely done.
Pyk!
I do not recall teaching you how to play like that. Accio! Nicely done.
O, fuck. No trudno.
We all make mistakes.
Accio.
And there you have it. Yet another opportunity to learn and improve.
Niech lepiej spojrzy na punkty.
Delightful to see such mastery from one your age. Well done. You've beaten me at my own game.
I suppose there's not much left you can teach me now.
One always has something to learn. You see, I just taught you something. As the new Summoner's Court champion, you have earned a token of recognition. Do not let it go to your head.
Chyba już za późno. Wszystkich doszczętnie ograł.
What are you up to now?
It's like a place right out of a storybook. I take it you're Alexandra's friend. Revelio. Should think they felt that. I feel awful for Alexandra, but the hamlet needed to be saved from that troll.
I hope you avoided my troll.
It's done, Alexandra. I took care of him.
My troll? What? Oh, I don't know what to say. Thank you. I wish things could have turned out differently for him.
There wasn't much you could have done. He was beyond training. Tried to kill me the entire
Ojejku.
time.
Goodness.
Nieprawda.
I'm glad you're
Nic
all
nie
right.
zrobił.
You're very brave. People in the hamlet had already crafted a moniker for whoever eventually defeated that troll. It was Troll something or other.
Slayer?
Yes, that was it. I suppose it's your title now. I need some time on my own. But truly, thank you for what you did.
Troll Slayer. Has a nice ring to it.
Off on another adventure.
The Great Hall. I have come upon a difficult time, and I need a friend.
That crate of Chinese chomping cabbages is somewhere in this camp.
You come to the wrong place, child.
Best place to hunt beasts is the Forbidden Forest.
Hogwarts is very lucky they've got protection charms, if you ask me.
Go on. Always claiming he knows about herbology, this one. What a laugh. Go on.
And when did I set my
Oh, fuck.
Someone.
No, jejku.
Ringo! I quit now, while you're still
Surprise, you're not potato. Stupid trick. Incendio. Bombarda. Incendio. Defender. Potato. Stupid. Bombarda. Revelio. That's one crate in hand. I only need one more.
No i gdzie to jest? Dobra, po prostu przelecę dookoła.
Castle. Must have been quite stately in its time.
An intruder!
see why Feldcroft needs help. Ranrock's loyalists are hiding out near Feldcroft. They must have the other crate of Chinese chomping cabbages. That's all the crates of Chinese chomping cabbages. I'd better go and see Mr. Thistlewood's friend in Feldcroft. Revelio. Wonder who lives here.
Hello there. Do you have this special delivery from my dear friend Eddie?
Hello, Mr. Ndi. Eddie Thistlewood sent me.
Yes, he told me to expect you. Do you have the Chinese chomping cabbages?
I have them right here.
Marvelous. This will go a long way towards protecting the hamlet from Ranrock's loyalists. The same foul curs who, I'm willing to guess, intercepted them in the first place, along with Rookwood's lot. Feldcroft owes a debt of gratitude to you and Eddie. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Happy to be of assistance.
At last, some reinforcements. Hopefully this is enough to thwart the goblins.
Resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
Some days are more difficult.
Natty, is everything all right?
There are times when my father's absence drifts to the back of my mind, and I feel peace for a day or two. But this is not one of those times. I miss him. I miss running with him. I miss Matibeleland. He should still be here. And it's my fault that he isn't.
I'm sorry, Natty. I wish there was something I could do to help.
You have done plenty. In fact, many of my good days are good because of you. The bad days, however, I believe I would feel less helpless if I could truly put an end to Harlow and the rest of Rookwood's miserable lot. Each day they remain free, they do more damage, leaving people like Archie Bickle to suffer the consequences.
I agree, Natty. We'll get them. I've never seen someone so committed to a cause.
Thank you. I believe we will get them, beginning with Harlow. Thank you for speaking with me. It was very helpful.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flu powder.
This is where Sakurissa said to go. Now where are those booktubers?
It's been ages since I found anything worth poaching their quack
Potato! Confringo! Incendio!
Pająków chyba się nie dało. Ojejku, a ten jak się kręci. Co to było?
Oh, that smells awful. Only 4 more, thank goodness.
What a talk of romance. Last time I saw you with a rose was when you stuck your finger on it.
I think I heard something.
Trzech naraz, wow.
Just my luck, a troll. I finally can tell. Revenue.
No, traf w to. Jejku.
Revelio. Incendio. Revelio. That should do it. I'd better get back to Zacharissa now. Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade? Zacharissa, I found the Pyka tubers you needed.
Splendid. I hope it wasn't too much trouble. May I have them?
Of course. Happy to have found them for you.
Thank you. And your payment, of course. Now I can begin perfecting my potion to save our poor pimply peers. Don't know who should be more grateful. I or our unsightly spotty classmates. One day the wizarding world will know my name, and you will have been a small part of it.
Akurat jestem w pobliżu.
Alfred Lawley's none too pleased.
Astoria cricket?
That depends. Am I in trouble?
Ferdinand Pratt thinks you should be. Says you stole his frame.
I wouldn't call it stolen. Relocated's more like it. How do I put this nicely? Ferdinand Pratt is a postulant boil, and he's lucky I didn't have him sealed in a wall.
Surely he can't be that terrible, can he?
All he does is spy on students in here and report back to the headmaster. Sometimes, if there's nothing to report, he'll make it up. I spent 4 hours in detention last week, all because he told Black that I was planning to drain the lake, whatever that means. It was the last straw. He and his frame had to go.
May I ask where you put him?
Oh, I didn't put him anywhere. The frame is likely with the fine gents I paid to snatch it. They camp in a ruin by the coast. I just wanted it far enough away that I'd never have to think about Ferdinand Pratt ever again.
You do know he's screaming in the library as we speak.
Oh, for the love of Merlin. If you ask me, he's got nothing to scream about. I could have had him put in the hogshead. The pampered Pratt would have hated it. Grimy walls, smell of goats. And the patrons, they eat snooty princes like Ferdinand for dinner. But what's done is done. He isn't here anymore, and if I were you, I should enjoy it. Lovely chatting with you.
You've made a mistake. Let's not be foolish. Burning the portraits like...
I'm a lost. Tripicus Totale! Potato! Tripicus Totale!
Stolen by others now, should you?
Bombarda.
You can't hold out forever.
Jeszcze tylko jeden.
This looks interesting.
Już wiem, o co chodzi z tymi kamieniami. Chodzi o te motylki.
Lumos.
Nic dziwnego, że żadne zaklęcie nie działało na te kamienie, skoro chodziło o coś zupełnie innego.
Revelio. Lumos.
No, chodźcie. Jejku.
Wingardium Leviosa. Lumos.
Specjalnie po nie schodzić.
Not so tricky after all, Merlin. Revelio. I should investigate. Revelio. Aloha Mora.
It's about time.
Calm down, I'm here now.
Calm down. Those buffoons outside have been talking about burning me. Me! If they weren't all sharing half a brain, they'd realize I'm worth more to them intact and at the 3 broomsticks.
How was that?
With everything I overhear, I'm a veritable trove of information. Now, don't just stand there. I need to be back by cocktail hour. The place will be like a funeral without me.
Let's get out of here then, shall we?
Be sure to carry me carefully, won't you? My pantaloons are already creased. Where have you put me? It's pitch black in here. I shan't stand for this.
This could prove dangerous if I'm not careful.
Nie no, tutaj go odstawimy.
Take me out of here immediately! You'll be sorry if I catch a flea. Are you listening to me? Get me out! What are you, a troll? All your heavy stamping about is going to damage my frame. Oh, finally! Back on my wall and more angelic than ever.
There you are. Welcome back.
I'm not usually one to give thanks. There's a sort of servant ring to it. But I suppose some gratitude is in order. As a show of goodwill, I'll exclude whatever misdeeds I hear about you in my reports to the headmaster. And I do hear quite a bit. Now, be off with you. I can't be seen talking to a student. Go on then, go! It's all right, everyone. I'm back.
Dobra, tutaj będziemy kończyć. Zostało jeszcze trochę zadań pobocznych. Myślę, że jeszcze 2 live'y i to będzie koniec Dziedzictwa Hogwartu. No dobrze, to tyle na dzisiaj. Fajnie, Burian, że byłeś do końca. Do następnego razu. Na razie, cześć, pa pa!